What's up agents, Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 build video. In today's video, I'm going to showcase one of, if not the best, all-red damage builds for PvP and for PvE. We're going to be focusing primarily on critical hit damage for this setup. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it. If you like all-out damage builds that absolutely rip through players and NPCs, any kind of enemy in the game, you are going to absolutely love this build. So make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Let's get straight into the video. So the specialization, because we are going to be using spotter, is going to be technician. That's obvious and quite simple. The linked laser pointer can be activated without actually speccing into rifle damage. Don't tell me if that's a bug. I have no idea. It's even highlighted in red. So I'm not really sure. All you got to do is put it on and then change your damage, and sometimes it saves it, sometimes it doesn't. So make sure you guys have got assault rifle damage on. It depends what weapon you want to use, but I do recommend using a long range gun with this setup. So make sure you guys do have everything activated. There are some interesting things in the specialization that might spark to your attention. So the one extra skill tier is very nice. So whatever skill you're using, you're going to be getting way more utility. In PvE, we also do a lot of damage to those robotic dogs, drones, and skill proxies. Very, very handy, especially in Summit or in any kind of legendary gamer, because they can be very difficult, especially the mini tanks that push you. So this build is going to be straight up damage. Now in PvP, guys, I want to make something clear. Now, you guys know that I always try my best to test everything. I've been in the dark zone and I have done some testing. Flatline, the normal flatline talent and Kingbreaker works in PvP. There's no problem. It works as it's supposed to work. I have not seen any bugs, but I do believe that sometimes you might be getting false readings. That may be due to the native pulse resistance and the way it scales in the dark zone, and also what builds you're using. So I went to the DZ and tested it. It seems like it is giving the amount of damage. It's a lot of damage, by the way. So Flatline is by far the best talent in the game. What I would do is, depending on what kind of build you're using and the setup you're using, just test it for yourself, because there might be an issue where other players are testing it. It's not working because of maybe they've got some sort of mitigation on the enemy's build, or maybe they're using the wrong piece, or maybe the way that it's set up might be giving different results. Just make sure you guys test it for yourself always. But from my findings, this talent works no problem. The Kingbreaker works, and the normal flatline on any other gun works fine as well. So straight off the bat, I want to talk about why I haven't used the new chest piece. Now, after doing some testing, guys, you're probably wondering to yourself, what about the Perfect Spotter? Perfect Spotter does more damage than normal spotter. In the PTS, that was not the case due to the wording of the talent itself. So we've got increases. So increases total weapon damage and skill damage by 20%. The normal pulse amplifies, which in our heads was multiplicative amplified damage, which that's how it normally works in the game. But we are getting way more damage using the Perfect Spotter. The reason why I have not used this is because if I change this build and incorporate the Perfect Spotter chest piece, unfortunately, it gives me 5% armor. So I'm not going to be utilizing that because I'm all red. But 100%, and I will be dropping a very strong tank build similar to this coming soon. It'll probably come out tomorrow. That will use the Perfect Spotter chest piece. If your build is 1.1 million armor and less, I would never use the Perfect Spotter chest piece, because you can get more crit damage and more damage from using other pieces, because we don't need armor because we're all reds. So if you guys are using this build with 1.1 million armor, the way that I would change it, but don't do that because I will be dropping a tank spotter build very soon, like I said, the way I would change it would simply be to put the Perfect Spotter and then a Fenris holster. That's it. End of story. You are good to go. You will beam players out. It works well, but that 5% armor, you're going to be doing about, on the setup, 4,000 damage less. So if I use the Perfect Spotter with a Fenris holster, I will be doing 4,000 damage less per bullet, which doesn't seem like much, but you guys do the math. 650 RPM. Pole mag, that's a lot of damage. So it's completely up to you if you want to use that setup, but I will be making a very strong tank build. So just to get that out of the way. So with this setup, this is going to be the best way to get damage, the highest amount of damage. Now let's go through the build as the way that I've set it up now. So with an all red build, I'm going to be honest, guys, I feel like I'm a lot tankier than it looks. I don't know what it is, but whenever I'm getting pushed by those drum shotgun heartbreaker guys, they just start running away as soon as you start shooting them. The Kingbreaker is unbelievable with this build. Now, this is a new weapon if you guys are just coming into the game. It's just been released with TU15. This gun does more damage from close range than the FAMAS, which is just shocking. Now, just to bit of a disclaimer, You might have a different build with different multiplicative elements. There's so many different things that could change your results. But from my testing, like I always say, guys, you might be getting different readings. Always test for yourself. But this gun is probably the highest damage gun in the game on paper as well. Not only in paper, but in practice also. So this is unbelievable. Make sure you guys farm it. Go count down ARs. I think I've deconstructed like 5 already. You get them very easily. Damage 2 targets out of cover is going to work best for this build. Perfect flatline amplifies weapon damage by 20% to pulse enemies. If this does not work in PvP, just pay attention to your numbers. Try and gauge how much you're doing. And if you see the numbers go down, just take the gun off and put it back on. That's how I feel it could fix it. Because a lot of builds in this game or sets don't work. Then you take it off, put it back on. Bulwark was the biggest culprit for that. So just make sure you do it. Even Heartbreaker, make sure you take the piece off and then put another piece back on, because that's how you fix it normally. So hopefully you guys can fix it. So with this, we're going to be absolutely shredding players. Now, I understand in PvE, it might not look that impressive because I know the Heartbreaker set is just too good, but I promise you guys, that set is probably due for a down tuning. So get this build in your loadout and be able to absolutely beam players from range. It is insane how fast players cannot push you. No matter what build they're using, they will die instantly. The damage, I've never had this much damage in this game ever playing the Division 2. It is so much fun, and this just makes this build. This gun has absolutely just amplified this build so immensely. I'm having such a great time. So when you modify this, make sure you guys, this is very important as well, make sure you guys do put the linked laser pointer, otherwise you won't be pulsing to get that damage. So we are not only just getting damage from the spotter, but we're also getting it from perfect flatline. So make sure you guys do pulse the enemies. Crit chance, crit damage, your crit chance must not be less than 54%. As I always say, don't do that. Otherwise, it's pointless, because this is a critical hit damage build. So on this build, I think my crit chance is 59.3. Very nice. It's probably a little bit overdoing it, but it's always good to have more or less around about 54, 55, 56. So that's good. 59.3, I don't mind. 155% crit damage. And yes, once again, I'm going to tell you guys right now, don't use improvised gloves and knee pads. Don't be fooled. You might be getting higher numbers, but remember, your non-crits will be doing less damage. Therefore, multiplicative Contractors and Fox's Prayer is better than normal gloves and like improvised gloves and improvised knee pads. So just remember that, guys. So the multiplicative damage is more damage overall, because remember, 40% of your bullets don't crit. So there's so many things you got to take into consideration. There's also RNG. So you might actually test what I'm saying and say you were wrong because your RNG was just amazing and you critted every single bullet. Do you see what I'm saying? So this game can be quite complicated, but on paper is nowhere near as good as testing in practice. So go and try it for yourself. So this is very good. I think the damage is unbelievable. The armor damage, 2 targets out of cover, it's just unmatched. So the sniper, you can one-shot someone in the finger with this gun. It's unreal. So charge the nemesis, pop them, they die. You can also get, I always forget to use it, I'm guilty of that, 40% extra crit damage. 40% extra crit damage is very good. And if you don't have the crit chance, which you should have, to be honest, you don't want to rely on this, but the extra crit damage is really, really good. So make sure you guys use the Perfect Finisher Orbit farm pistols. It's very, very good, easy to get. So with this setup, you're probably thinking to yourself, what is this holster? What's going on there? Unfortunately, guys, I know I've got armor regen. My bad. Have crit chance, okay? Don't have armor regen. That's my mistake. So with the crit damage build, this is probably the best way you can possibly run a crit damage build in the Division 2 right now, from my testing. Obviously, you might find different variations that might suit the way you play. Like I always say, you must always adapt the builds to suit your own play styles, never just copy. So for an all-red build, this is going to be the best. So we've got Grupo, 15% crit damage. The baseline chest piece, Fenris with 10% assault rifle damage. Cheska to get our crit chance up. And improvised holster, which you can craft from the crafting station, guys. It's very difficult to get a nice one. That's why I'm still farming to get a good one with crit damage and crit chance. Then, why do you use this? Because you know you guys only get 3 mod slots here. So 12% crit damage, 12, 12 if you have them. You can also put a modification here. So this is like a baby Grupo. Instead of 15% crit damage, you get 12% if you have that mod. So you get extra crit damage. Very, very nice. And this is what I mentioned before. What I see people doing is running improvised gloves and knee pads for more crit damage. Yes, you might have close to 200%, but there are diminishing returns in this game for crit damage, like I mentioned in my Kingbreaker, my previous Heartbreaker PVE video. Don't do that. The multiplicative damage when you're not critting is important as well. So just keep reminding yourself 40% of your bullets don't crit. So this is going to be unbelievable from range. The players will go down, NPCs, you can hit 2.5 million to the head. It's crazy. I love it. The damage is insane. If you guys want to beam players from range, make sure you give this build a try. This is what I'm using now for my damage build. I'm going to completely min-max this. So what I want to do is simple. My knee pads are maxed, my gloves, my chest piece is basically maxed, my mask is maxed out. I'm going to optimize everything and then try get an improvised holster. Just pray to the RNG gods that you get a better holster. It's very difficult to get, but I'm going to try my best. So with this build, every single piece, crit damage, crit chance, chest piece, crit damage, crit chance, holster, crit damage, and go for crit chance, not regen. Every mod, 12% critical hit damage if you can get those modifications. Crit damage, crit chance, then crit chance on the gloves and crit chance on the knee pads. As long as you have at least 54% crit chance, you're good to go. Make sure to use Vigilance on the backpack. As long as you're not taking damage, you get 25% increased damage. Very, very strong. Probably the best damage talent in the game. Decoy is a must-have. It hides you from other players, especially in the dark zone. I know, guys, the problem is Kingbreaker is an issue right now. I do have a counter, and I actually will post it as soon. You know what? Leave a comment down below if you guys want me to post my anti-pulse build. Even though currently, if a Heartbreaker player shoots you in the head, he can still pulse you, which is really not good. But for some reason, when I was playing with that build, I felt like I mitigated it. I think it's because not every player can hit a headshot, especially when they're stacking with the shotgun. That shotgun pretty much never hits a headshot because of the way that it bounces around and the accuracy is so terrible. So make sure you guys try this setup like this. If you're using a headshot build, this is not the way to go. Like I said, if you want to run a tanky build, use the perfect spotter chest piece. It does more damage, but I will post you guys on a video. Well, I'll post a very strong spotter tank build very soon, and I will be streaming after this video goes live, so come support me on Twitch. I'm going to be doing some countdown runs, just testing stuff out, so come say hi, guys. So make sure you do leave a like. I'm going to play some gameplay, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, agents.
Vital signs critical. An agent needs assistance. Rogue defender drone detected. Rogue stinger hive detected. Rogue striker drone detected.
Ha ha ha.
Boost about to activate. Boost now active.